I take the conch away from you and briefly we hear what Grace has to say about the steamed conversation as we have started. And then we come back here what the gentlemen have to say because they are eagerly waiting to, I don't know, whether counter or say something ahead, Grace. What do you make of this whole conversation? Because then are we trying to tell ourselves that we might as well make peace with the fact that this is what is going on and probably not even seek to find solutions to it? Is it a problem in the first place?
Yes, I truly believe it's a huge problem that is affecting our society today because we are seeing a number of young people who are financially dependent, especially the girls. I'll talk from the girls' perspective. So you'll find a girl who has been used to having a BAMBA,
yes,
or a sugar daddy who is financing her lifestyle. And so because this young girl cannot be able to fend for herself, she can't be able to work. She doesn't know what it means to work to earn a living, to work to earn a salary.
Right.
She'll be forced to move from one mbaba to another just to sustain a lifestyle.
And you know, they say that girls don't move back socially. I mean, ukisonga
unaenda ukisonga.
You know?
Yeah. Because if you take me from one level, you take me to another level. Yeah. I want to see, you know, there's some... I'm moving from one level to another. So in order for this girl to even sustain her lifestyle, she's now forced to go from one baba to another. Because truth be told, these old men also get tired. They get tired, they drop you, and they go for the next hot thing. Yeah. And it's also, I've noticed with the young men, it's becoming a problem because now the young men, apart from having a sugar mommy, he's also having a girlfriend. So he's using this money to finance the girlfriend, which now comes to it creates love triangles that can be very dangerous. Right. People end up killing each other. I think we've had stories of how Baba went to a girl's house, you know, to impromptu visit her, only to find a young man, her boyfriend, and the next thing we know, the girl is dead or there was chaos. So I feel like it's a menace in the society, and it's something that we think we need to address before things go out of proportion.
Do we ever get to reflect, to think about it? Perhaps you could take the conch and tell us what you make of the conversation so far before I even ask this question.
My name is Mark Choket, MPE School of Law.
Right.
And I agree in totality what has been said, that indeed this discussion defeats the moral fabric of the society.
Right.
But I'll lean on the legal side.
Okay.
When you look at this thing, it is not like it is a marriage. Let us not sugarcoat words.
Okay.
It is more prostitution.
Okay.
Yeah.
The law itself provides for types of marriages, including polygamy and even customary marriages and others. In this regard, it means that whenever you're involving yourself in this activity, there is no recourse from the law.
Okay.
Let us stop mincing words that indeed there is no free lunch.
You need to take another microphone, I'm told, so that we can hear you clearly. And even as you speak about that, what about the kawaida relationship between a young man and a young woman? Legally, what is that again?
Thank you. The difference between a young man and a young woman is there is no interest in this matter.
Okay.
The issue between Wababa and Wamama, there's
There's
interest of money that has been mentioned.
Okay.
So one day you are taken to Dubai or you are bought a car. Since it is not recognized by law, it means if anything happens, it can be taken away. Okay. There is no recourse from the law. And I think the conversation should shift to parents and even religious groups, that it is time that people know, they get aware that the dangers of such things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You can take the mic and then we come back to you. All right.
Thank you so much. I'm Evans Kiprono, the president of Mount Kenya University, becoming in campus. Thank you, Linda, for having us tonight to discuss on the Wapapa thing. It is quite, I'm amazed actually this evening to find the religious leaders that they were expecting this to happen.
Okay.
Or they were in their agreement. Actually, from what I've read, they are in agreement of what is happening because of the current modernity.
Okay.
How can we bring the modernity up to the moral uprightness? And we say because of the modernity, we are in agreement of what is happening.
Okay.
The moral uprightness of the society doesn't depend on what is changing biblically. And also you can attest to it. Whatever it has brought us today here is, why is it easy for our young generation to find a sponsor and not a mentor?
Okay.
Why is it easier for our young generation to find or to rent a free lifestyle and not to build their own. The thing that is actually affecting us, the young generation, is the kind thing of our papa and our mama's thing. This thing is because of the societal belief that the current world that we are in values the wealth and not the what. What do you get at the end of it? What are the vision of our young generation? What is the destiny? What is the vision? What is the purpose of an individual? That is the thing.
All right.
My sister have mentioned about the soft life, but they say soft life is nice until when you realize that the peace of mind is the first thing that you sacrifice.
All right.
Only for long comfort, long calls that you sacrifice to the short comfort. Which
All
is
right.
not good.
Interesting, Mr. President. Briefly, Hashim, you said yes, you can go first and then we come to this side. Very fast.
Okay, my name is Hanif Bashir once again. First of all, I feel obliged today to realize that the religious institution is for once in a lifetime inagreeable to what the problem is facing. For the longest time, I've been struggling with the religious institution on the concept of provoking rather than mentoring. We're in a generation that lacks a lot of mentoring. Remember, we're in a generation that is experiencing high single parenthood family institution. Some of us lack mentors. And for the longest time, we hear this word, kuja tukuombe. What do you mean tukuombe? My friend, mentor this child. Hii kuombea, Mungu hawezi kusaidia kama utajisaidia wewe mwenyewe. So, first of all, I feel much obliged. And then, as much as I'm a legal student, I tend to forget names. Sir, you talked about the economical aspect. And you said, you question on the concept of water work. Allow me to shock you that we live in the most innovative. No one can ever convince me, but this is the most innovative generation that's ever existed.
And that comes along with money.
Yeah. First of all, we bettered the economical facilities and the economical system. We introduced freelancing. We introduced online works. We even told a taxi driver, you know what, there's no need for you to sit there with a band of taxi on top of your car. We can connect you to a client via phone. So when you question about work, we understood what work is. We bettered the financial system. We bettered the economical aspect of our society.
And these people make money, I can tell you for free.
And when you say, we just bettered it, you know, at the end of the day, time moves, development occurs. Right. That is the question. And from the concept of, and from the book of Amartya Sen, he clearly says that once you develop human beings, that is all that. When to develop human beings, it also means to economically develop them and make them understand their freedoms, understand their capacity.
Right.
The only problem that we are facing is like lack of structure support. Some of us, including you, Madam Olivia, you came from the uptown, ukatupwa Nairobi. You were told, you know what, figure out. Figure out.
Yes.
No one gave you a step up. Some of us are like that. We lack support structure. We also see that the governmental have failed in terms of our economy. If you ever stand, I'll give you an assignment. Just go stand in archives and decide, you know what, today you're going to hear ideas of young people. You'll be shocked. We are one of the most innovative generation that has ever occurred in the humanity. Yeah,
and perhaps if, I know we still are going to belabor on the financial aspect to this, but if we're going to remove finances for a second and look at this gentlemen that are so handsome and so brilliant and so promising, and look at the ladies out there, what is this other thing that could inform for their ladies to overlook them for older men? Because then you want to ask yourself if they're sellable enough, if they're attractive enough, if they're well-mentored and well-packaged as he would request. You want to tell me there's a girl who's going to overlook them and go for an oldie? And like they say, it's actually very uncomfortable to sometimes even be seen with these old men. Yes. You will take your beautiful photos to take online, but you can't take your beautiful photos alongside the men. So literally there's something that is actually missing out. So you want to tell me that it is that is largely about the money? Perhaps we could come to you, Grace, again.
I don't think maybe we can attribute it towards the money too. We can also attribute it towards peer pressure, you know, because when I was in campus, that's when this whole thing had just come up.
Okay.
So you could just see your fellow roommate comes, you know, she's going into this lifestyle, and slowly they make you also be part of that lifestyle. And I think most of the girls or most of the boys, if we were to hear their side of the story, they would say that they entered unknowingly. You know, just because I saw my roommates going out with old men, that means I also feel like I should also go out with old men. Or maybe one time my roommate came and told me, hey, you know what, Grace, there's this old man, you know, he has friends. And that's how now you find yourself slowly come into this culture. So I feel also peer pressure has really played a huge role.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you have dated ladies, okay, well, we'll come back to them, and perhaps I want to hear whether they have felt that sweetness of actually just dating a person and being made beautiful, feeling, you know, being made to feel like a woman, being made to feel nice. Before we come back to them, yes, we take to you, Rev. And largely we talk about parenting. Largely we talk about the religion. Largely we talk about society and mentorship. Have we slugged on these elements?
Thank you again for that question. And I thank God because I think we have parents who are watching tonight. And I want to put it back to the parents, because a lot of times it is us as church or as religious people, those people we have as congregations are people coming from homesteads. And these are people who come, sometimes they are already grown up, and they instilled values in them. And especially I don't know whether we call it a vice, because we have so many single parents, whereby it's not supposed to be like so. Whereby if my daughter saw me and I'm a single parent, I'm sure there are things she was watching. Maybe I could be that woman who wants the nice things in life. Maybe I'm that woman who keeps changing men. But this is what those children are picking as values, even as they grow and go out there. So there is a lot of lacking in parenting. The people we have in church are the people we have already gotten from these homesteads.
You hear him speak about just how most of the times it's you being reprimanded, it's you being questioned, as opposed to you being sat down and told that, well, you are taking this route and it is a dangerous route for you. That, of course, there's going to be a lot of judgment, you know, from society, you know, because then basically we understand just how society views this Mbaba affair with a lot of skepticism, you know, with a lot of those eyes of why do you have to do that? You are now turning into a terrible character and all that. So how can we shift this and acknowledge that within society, indeed, they are single parents and we cannot run away from that? How can we shift this and acknowledge that within society, there are people who come from this phase to that phase of life, and therefore that work, that transition, you know, that help during transition is critical?
Yes, I would want to say we do have my fellow psychologists here. The patterns of thinking and the way we value things and the choices we make in life has a lot of impact in our lives. And I think we still do we haven't done research on this one, because I think there are still young girls out there who would want to settle down with these handsome young men here, I'm sure. Because according to the way of the values they have been instilled in those homesteads. For us, when we were going to school, we only knew after I go to school, I get a good job and I get a good husband. That's all we knew. But these ones, the other day you were telling us you don't want to get married. You fear marriage like you fear what? Porridge. And hot food or whatever. And we need to come back to where we have lost it. We need to value marriage. Marriage is an important thing. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Other than, even if you are going for Mbaba, this Mbaba has his home and he has one day to go back to his home. You are also wasting your time. You're also wasting your body. And by the time you're also old, you'll have lost too much. We need to do things at the right time. Just like he has said, our psychologist here. A woman has a span of even giving birth to children. You will not forever be giving birth. Maybe for men at 70, at 80. But even for you, your time is running out. So I think even for whatever is happening in our homesteads, we also need to make the right decisions as the youth.
All right, let's come back to you gals and perhaps just get to have a gal talk for a moment. That maybe we might want to point fingers at the Wababaz. But interestingly, and they will tell you that actually it's the girls that reach out to them. You know, that sometimes with this freedom on social media, they wake up to see a girl waving, you know, in their inbox, and automatically that is a girl saying that I am available. What do you suppose is missing with our young men? You know, what is this one thing that they do not do right, that perhaps you'd have wished for them to do right, aside from the money element? You can go, you can take the mic.
Thank you very much for having me back again.
You're welcome.
My name is Mutai, and just to say, I feel that it's about personalities. People have different personalities, and our young men are doing it right. And there's nothing per se that they're doing it wrong. It's only the money factor.
Okay. It is largely the money factor.
It is largely the money factor.
Okay, okay.
And perhaps maybe our psychologists will go on to tell us, because I have actually seen some of my friends or colleagues who actually don't lack money, but they would still go for older men.
That's why I'm asking. I mean, is it really the money factor?
No. For some, just a small percentage is totally about the money. And I've actually heard from the bench and also from the audience here, and there's just a lot of moral implications being brought up and moral discussions. But here's the thing. I feel that we are actually missing out on the point. Why are we not addressing the root cause? Why is it that, especially on the financial part, why is it that these young girls and young boys have to look for older people to finance them? Could it be that maybe there are certain pressures? And yes, we are the most innovative, but yet again, we're the most jobless people. Yeah. As much as you could be creative, you might not be visible enough for these companies to find you, or maybe if you're working online, maybe you don't really have followers to get enough money. And also the fact that when you talk about morality, I feel that we lean on towards the godliness side of it. Why can't we talk about morality as a human and not morality from having a sovereign on top of it all? And I just want to set this conversation, just pace it a little bit. I have a theory, and of course my theory is not to be proved wrong or right, because it's not right or is it wrong, but rather to be bested. Can we maybe say that there has been an evolution in the social concept of relationships? Back in the days, we used to have older men dating and actually marrying younger girls, actually younger way, like 11 years, 15 years. So could we say that maybe for right now, we have had this evolution that younger girls or youth are dating older men because we have had economic development and transitions here and there. And so they actually date them because there are a lot of stuff that comes with it, especially the money part. Right. And could we say that maybe the society is not comfortable with this because the young girls are now getting something from it, yet kitambo, it used to be the young girls suffering from it. Could it be, maybe you're not just comfortable? That is why we are having this conversation.
Well, interesting. I think I throw it back to this other side. Maybe by tonight you can pick it up before Imam comes in. And I'll tell you this, I have had a sitting with a couple of girls who have engaged old men. They will tell you, the first instance, it was the money. In fact, even before they get to eat, when I say, nitaanza kunegotiate aje. So by the time I say yes to him, he had better know that I am not here nitoke tu bure. At least nafaa kukuwa na vits, nafaa kukuwa na nini, you know. That is what they say. But now once they get into it, 2, 3, 4 months into it, it is no longer the money. They are emotionally attached. What is this that the old man is doing that this young man does not know about how best they can treat the woman? As you respond to her.
This is very interesting. Work is good, and people are doing work. But the methodology and approach of work matters. Because people are working. Young people are very creative. And we talked about mentorship, a lot of mentorship. And I'll say one thing, that what we are lacking is mentorship. And mentorship is not a one way. The president is here. We have African Leadership Forum. Moshisho was there, deputy president, deputy governor, Kajiado. He took initiative to join the movement. So if you don't, as a young person, I don't join where I can be mentored, then we'll complain until God come back. So the concept of even the man issue, because I'm so much on the man, I'm so much even worried about my beautiful girl, who will marry this beautiful girl, because if also the man have been put aside. The working of the man, of the men in the society, our young men with elder men so that they can mentor them, we can work together, it's lacking somewhere. And you find now the ladies comes, and when the concept of the money is good. Money is a facilitator of life,
Sure.
but not everything. Because money without discipline, money without mentorship, then something is wrong. So if we can look forums, because I agree, we look where we are coming from. The young girls will look for these men. They're looking this man is composed, this man can arrange this and this. Kuna kitu inapatikana kwa ule mwanaume na vile anajipanga. Alafu nasikia huyo dema anasema, ai mazee, huyu tunapelekana naye wapi? Ako na utoto mob. But me, I'm looking about, what about my boy? I have a gentleman in university. Atapata nani? Ikuwa kwa na utoto mob. And these are the girls of their age. Amesema, ai mazee, sijui tunaweza pelekana naye wapi. So there is something as men where a certain generation that we have a certain wisdom and knowledge, but probably we are not passing it.
Okay.
Because if we pass that knowledge, because our fathers were there, if we pass that knowledge to this young man, then the lady will look the sharp young man and start saying, no, I don't need this mbaba. I need this guy, akona future. So anaangalia baba anasema kuna future. Na kuna future because huyu baba atawacha wife yake.
Right.
You get the point? And after sometimes, but where is this young man? Where are we going? Where is the image of the man? And what is my role? Apart from the church and praying for them and get saved. No. We need to do an extra thing. We need to think about, and it's not about also about us, it's about also them coming. And see, where do we meet? What are you doing this extra?
Okay.
How are you doing it differently? In university, we have some forums, even some about branding yourself, packaging yourself. And sometimes these talks in university are not examinable. Iko kwa hall. Wale utakuta out of a big university, ni watu wachache sana.
Is it because maybe they do not see these talks making so much sense to the...
You see now, the point is social media imekuja.
Okay.
Which social media is something somebody have fed. Even Googling. That information, ni mtu scholar kama mimi na ule mwingine ameput that information. But when you come to look about job, we've been doing interviews for guys and everything. Yes, I've been social media and everything. But still, when you come to look for this job, I need, Jesus say, who do people say you are? What can you do? You have your first honor degree and everything. Smart, yes. But I don't need this. I need how can you prepare this? How can you make the office simple? I'm a degree holder. Clean. One day, I was doing some courses. I was training some courses in Utalii.
Right.
And I come to realize, for you to become a manager, you must first be assigned kwa toilet, vile utaosha, assigned hapa, assigned. So by the time you're becoming that manager, there have been a mentorship. There have been a walking. You know how toilets should be washed. So my thinking, Linda, I think we need mentorship. And mentorship is not a story of tuongee.
Okay.
It's a story of, as a young person, look somebody that attracts you and go next to that person. Tap opportunity. If you don't tap opportunity, we'll end up. Even social media, I can get so many likes, but if I don't tap opportunity, your real life, then.
Imam, these are the very same old men that we're complaining about. Are they really about to spend their time mentoring these gentlemen, or they are busy figuring out how they're going to take the women from them? Okay. What is the gap here? Is it them that that are not available, or is it the old men that are actually not even interested anymore in making sure that they raise a generation that is well crafted?
Okay, there's a Swahili saying I heard someone say, because I've come up with the immorality issue. Now, for these Mbabas, they know very well what they are doing. They are dating girls of their own daughter's age. Right. Yeah, or even to some extent the granddaughters. And what we expect is that they should be mentoring these young people, show them how things are done. But so unakuta in this extent, unakuta they are showing them, in their own personal interests, of which there's no future for them. Naelewa taka, I think out of 100, I don't know how many percent that end up also maybe getting married and stuff. But most of the time is amekuja amefurahia na nini, and for some reasons I think they are trying to compensate zile vitu hakupata during their nini. And I wanted to say this Swahili saying, wanasema hata wajinga huzeeka. Unaelewa? So wanasema the moment when you think that ati they are using wisdom, inaweza kuwa ni ule mjinga alizeeka anafanya nini?
Okay.
So
so it's not always going to come from the
not exactly. Okay. So unakuta bado ile whatever they had ile immorality na nini, na ndio hiyo nataka kutumia. Maybe I did not get an opportunity to have so many girls. Simply maybe I was financially constrained and stuff. Lakini sahi if I have it, I'll have anyone or any kind of girl ambayo nataka. So unakuta, so this inakuwa ni part of the problem. And the other thing, I still insist on the moral question and stuff, because kama ni mzee ambaye anajiheshimu, unaelewa, they wouldn't be doing what now they are doing to nini. Kama ni mtu ambayo you really uko na pesa unataka kusaidia, help in so many other ways that we've seen people doing. If it's mentoring, if it's giving out opportunities and so on, but this is what they choose to do. And the other thing, because it has been mentioned, is the issue of religion. It's not that we are not doing our part, and it's only that now people are deviating and are running away from religion. And that's why I said that sometimes we are addressing these issues but to the wrong audience. Okay. Because mtu ametoka kwa miguu yake amekuja kwa msikiti ama kanisa. So huyu anajua what they should be doing. Najua this is halal, this is haram and stuff. Okay. They know. But sasa kuna mwingine ambaye hajakuja. So where do we get them? Okay. Unaelewa? Now hajajituma. So unaelewa? So you cannot say that we've failed on our part. Okay. Unaelewa? Kwa sababu they've chosen not to, and we've gotten to a point where now I think even they're starting to question religion, and it's not the religion that is the problem. Okay. The problem is the people that you're having. All right. Unaelewa? Ukiangalia the 98% the religious that we are in Kenya, but by names, not even by practice. Unaelewa? Ile tu I was raised a Christian, I was raised a nini and stuff, but we are not practicing. All right. Why is it that asubuhi kingia kwa matatu ni gospel zinapiga? Unaelewa? Ikifika saa 4 zimebadilishwa zimekuwa vitu zingine. Unaelewa? And these are the same people who are tunaita bado every Sunday churches zimejaa. The same people ndio, I'm saying churches, places of worship. Okay? They are full, but still corruption index ikoaje in our country. So it's the same thing. So the issue is not religion, is that I would even say we have a lot of hypocrisy. Okay. Umeelewa? Because we claim that we are religious, but we don't practice.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. I don't know whether you feel like your argument has been addressed, or perhaps you want to advance it better, but what do you make of the conversation so far? I want you to tell us, ushaipigwa character development, Aba, what would it feel for you to just realize that perhaps the girl that you're dating is equally dating some other gentleman huko? Looks like siku hizi mnabambika, alete pesa tutumie. There are others who actually feel like any character development and na wanajitoa. What is your take?
Thank you, Linda, for that. My name is Oscar Milimo. I'm a motivational speaker, and a producer, and also a mentor. On the part of youths and the issues of Wababaz, one thing I will first of all say is there is a problem. I really disagree with the fact that young men or young ladies are supposed to have Wababas and Wamamas. I'm a person who has grown in church. I really appreciate what the church is doing. The church, when we are in the church, there are morals that the church instills in us. Now, you as a person, you have a decision to make, either to follow those morals or not to follow. So when you follow the rules or the morals of the church, one thing I know that you not end up in this situation. But maybe three things I'll talk about. One of it is the way parents will bring up our children. First of all, the psychologist talked about the issue of single parenthood. You know, when I'm growing as a child, there is a man or the father and the mother, they have roles that they play in the life of their children. So when, for example, a child is growing up without a father, they do not have that a father figure to look up to. Now, for example, in the context of a lady, when they grow up, they will be lacking a part of the fatherhood figure. So there are things that they have not learned from a father. So they will be looking for another person where they can get that comfort or to learn from. Now that brings in the aspect of the mbaba, because they will look at mbaba, and this one of the things that this mbaba is stable. We'll talk about the emotional part of mbaba. Mbaba is a mature person. They have a lot of experience in life. Now there is that emotional comfort that they have. Now when this lady find this mbaba, there will be so much emotional comfort, because they will see that this man has really learned a lot of things, and they have really grown emotional, and they can handle issues. Now, so this lady finds comfort, or this man finds comfort in this mama. The other thing is about the psychologist has talked about mentorship. One of the things, we are doing mentorship ourselves. We have a group of young men. We do mentorship to campuses and high schools. And one thing we're really trying to search, as much as we are talking to others, there is this one thing I'm searching myself, is that we want to have a meeting place between the older people and us, the young people. But one thing I've come to realize, that the older people who are in place, they want to get a man who is already, they want to get a young person who is already prepared to fit in the level that they want.
All right.
For example, when you look for, you're going to a workplace, they're telling you that we want a person who is experienced.
Okay.
And you're still just a new person in the
All
market.
right. So the experience factor counts.
Yeah, comes in.
And I don't know whether we tend to blame the girls more and blame the younger men more, as opposed to the Wababaz and the older women, because it looks like now it's the little girls that are doing a wrong thing, and the old men are actually not doing a wrong thing. Charles, KCA, you take the mic and then you give the lady that is right behind you to as well tell us something. He has refused to tell us whether he's gotten this character development at some point, but it is well. Utasikia aje ukisikia dem yako ule una date, wewe umeng'ara suti hivyo, umejikaza hata uko kampo tu, lakini unang'ara hivyo, and then unasikia jioni amechukuliwa sijui na so and so, sasa zile ulikuwa umeenda wapi, ameenda na nani. What will it feel like? Have you gone through that?
Thank you, Linda, for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, I would like first to answer your question. As a man, I will not feel well, because that is an attack to my ego as a man. And when you attack an ego of a man, you expect two things, either revenge or a total shutdown.
Okay.
That man will root back to go and develop himself. And then back, there will be a revenge to other women, trying to revenge because at
Somebody
a point
else,
in
yeah.
life, he feels that he was hurted. But that's aside. That is what happens, but I do not agree with it.
Okay.
For me, I'll choose to do life better and date right in a way that I won't find myself in such a situation. Because we as young people, where we are getting it wrongly is first we are dating right.
Okay.
We do not prepare ourselves for dating.
Okay.
You just get into dating field without proper preparation and without proper tools for dating.
What do you suppose would be these proper tools and preparation?
Yes, I'll start with a man. As a man, you have to be packaged before you start dating. You have to know the purpose of the dating, what we call purpose dating. When you prepare yourself as a man with the necessary skills in the dating field, you will always see these red flags before you even advance.
Lakini Charles,
your
hebu tukue
levels.
real. Wacha tukue real. You people, have you been swept off your fate? Have you fallen in love ile inakujanga tu hivi? You as a woman, a man approaches you na kuapproach na sasa umempenda, to be honest. Iko saa hata ya kujipaka hizo vitu unasema?
It is true, it happens, and I have said this. It is purposeful dating. Are you dating for marriage, or you are dating to have fun?
Okay.
Wrong is wrong and right is right.
All right.
Regardless of whoever is doing it. So it is incumbent upon our decision as young people to decide and to have purposeful dating. If you want to date for marriage, or if you want to date for a fun, you will choose by yourself. But remember, we are human beings. We will not tell the other partner, I am just dating for fun. There will be promises, there will be lies. They say that women like to be lied to. of which I do not agree with that. But at a point, if that it takes the course, it is not the right thing to do. Second thing that we should focus as young people, more so on the financial part. Men, we should build our capacity in a way that we have built systems that they are supporting us financially and we have streams of income so that we can sustain. Men, I think we were created to provide. As you are getting in a relationship, you must know you
I am glad that you bring that point
people.
up, Charles. I am glad that you bring that point up. Please give the mic to the lady behind you. Do these young men even imagine of providing? Yani mtu akuje tu hata yogurt akikam kuvisit kwa room ama akuje tu hata ona vile wanacheka because literally they don't show up with anything. You know, our times at least mtu anajikaza hata na kasweet na kalolo do these men of ours do that? Do they? You can go up and tell us. I mean, just tell us the truth honestly. I wanna do. But how many times have they told you kuja tuende mess? Lunch on me today. How many times have they showed up kwa room yako kukutembelea at least with a card to just say I love you? How many times do they do that? Or even get creative and get a flower huko kwa garden akulete?
And maybe before
the lady says
something,
right?
This falls back to parenthood. How many of these men, if they don't have parents, where did they see a man being treated, a woman being treated right?
Okay.
If we keep on saying we open the door, where did they see their mothers being opened? Where did
the ladies carry the seats?
There's no school. There's no school for this.
It's like, what is wrong with these people?
They watch it on operas.
Is that not enough to teach them something at least? Nimekwambia some ladies have come here wakibeba viti zao. And I'm asking myself, where are the men? Mtu amwambia, wacha tu kiti hapo, I'm coming for it.
Linda, come back to Kenya.
I am in Kenya.
Please, look this, Our generation, hata kampo, umepewa help. Umepewa pesa na governor, everything.
Utanunulia
the way, wacha hivyo. The way, sahi hata sio hata relationship, siya nini, ati tuna plan to earn everything. Is a friendship.
Yes.
You're starting in Genesis 2:18 talks about friendship. So in that friendship, we are sharing.
You know?
So ile pesa nimepewa, na ile uko nayo, we are sharing. But siku hizi sasa imechange ni pesa ile umepewa ya help, yangu ni yangu.
Na
yako ni.
I mean, now men hata nyinyi.
Unaona sasa tumekopi vitu za semi ni mbaya today how it is. But we need to look some things za Western and also let's not throw our culture so much. Let's look somewhere. Let's try provide. I agree, but let's look somewhere. And that's why you find that this gentleman will bear me witness. You go with that lady, and one day she tells you, I'm paying for you fare. It speaks a million. True or false? It speaks a million. See, I'm a wife material.
Me, no, man. Might.
Kila siku, hata kasodo huwezi kununua. Na umepewa 50,000 na mimi 50,000.
Say something.
Okay, thank you, Linda. My name is Joyce Njoki Murugi. I'm a ZTech student. I'm the deputy president, and I'm pursuing international relations. So what I have to say about it, I can say that there are men out here who are providers, who are willing to hata kununulia hiyo sweet moja kuletea kwambie shika hii hata anaona lips zako zimekauka.
You know?
Kunao sisi tunaona kwa movies. Kunao, but still pia inaanza vile Reverend amesema, Joyce amesema kwamba inaanza pia home. What they see, what their parents teach them. Kama wana appreciate the woman, kama kuna sister anamu appreciate, kama anaona baba yake ana appreciate mama yake. Yeah, that's what.
It's true.
All right. There's some ladies. Okay, you can take the mic because you're right next to her. Yeah. Nyinyi hata hakuna kitu mnafanyanga siku hizi. Unakuja hapa kienyeji. Wewe kwanza nimekuangalia ulikuwa tu next na dem akibeba kiti. Yaani hata huwezi kumwambia.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hello.
My name is Arnold Kalachu and the Sports and Entertainment Secretary at ZTech University. And first of all, I'd like us to all agree that tumekuja Nairobi kusoma, yes, and to find a way where we can get our daily bread, right? And we men, sisi wanaume, not women, we men.
Yeah.
We men, we agree that the society has given us the age of being the providers. We, like tukitoka home, our mom tells us, endo some, upate job, kujo tusaidie, si ndio? Yeah, so tumeenda shule, tumejikaza, and it's actually common sense. It's normal that when you're in campus, we get into relationships. Yeah, it's natural. Like we try to find for this one partner who we will grow with.
Right.
This lady mwenye nitasema nimegrow naye from hapa mpaka hapa, si ndio? And we find this lady, nimepata mdem, nimekuwa naye, but all of a sudden character development ndio hiyo, akaniacha, ameendia buka fulani yako na do. It will hurt me as a guy,
right?
But I'll tend to understand that this lady has left me because I don't have money, financial issues, right? But has went for the older guy because of money. Now I will come back, work on myself, and get the cash, of course. But do you think I'd still go for the lady who left me, or for the ladies who rejected me when I was poor? No, I will go for these fresh ladies.
Okay.
I think that's what I think that's what gives birth to more Wababaz, right? Yeah.
I mean, I had that conversation this evening with my cameraman. Wakasema ile siku watapata pesa.
Yes, yeah, actually. This is what gives birth to more Wababaz. Personally, like me, when a lady rejects me, like nimekukatia ukanikataji usina pesa. Mimi nikipata pesa sitakurudia. I'll go for this.
But let's also talk about that. You know, have we trained our men to accept rejection? Because I can tell you the numerous men that I said no to. Honestly, some would have assumed that it's because they did not have money. Some would have said that it's because tu sijampenda. These people do not seem to understand how best they can deal with rejection. Maybe we come to you. How do we get them to that level?
I truly feel like we've not taught our young men to face rejection, and that is why you will see in our media, a man has killed himself. There's high rates of femicide, because the only way this man I feel like amelipisha ni either to cause pain to this lady, or or just for him to kill himself, because he sees that he has lost purpose, he has lost meaning. I mean, he can't even sustain a woman. What kind of a man is he? And I feel like we really need to teach our young men how to process rejection. You know, how to know that, this girl has rejected you because you cannot finance her lifestyle. But there's still someone out there who can love you for who you are. And it's just a few days ago, I think we all saw this story of a girl's body which was found in a septic tank in one of our institutions. I mean, it was said that the girl had rejected this man, but this man didn't know how to process rejection. Yeye alikuwa anasema, it's me, and it's me, and it's going to be me. If it's not me, hautapenda mwingine. So I feel also the men need to, they need to also talk about these things, you know, and they also need not to make it like, it doesn't mean that if you can't sustain a girl, ama msichana amekuacha, it doesn't mean you're not man enough.
Okay.
It just means the girl just chose her own different path.
All right.
So that you don't cause pain to other
I want us to also, all right. I also want to have someone else who's not said something, and then we come back to you. There's a lady right behind you who's excited to talk. Do you suppose that also the girls lack this mentorship that we're talking about, such that we get excited about them, Baba, more than we would get excited about the gentlemen that we're supposed to grow together?
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Brilliant Refa. I'm a student.
I don't know whether you can hear.
No, can't hear.
Uongeze volume kidogo.
My insight about this thing is that most ladies in our institution right now, we are finding comfort in men simply because, like in men we find like we can't date young men of our own age, because we found young men, they can't provide for you anything. That's number one. And those same
not
men,
even emotional and, you know, at least hata kustudy pamoja. That does not count for anything.
Of course, we can study together, but you find they can't support you in any form.
What do you mean in any form? Pesa too.
In terms of money, and maybe in terms of comfort.
All right.
Yeah, you find there is a certain man where that man, he can call you to go and help him in washing his clothes, doing some cleanings. And the same man, he cannot provide for you finances.
All right. Yeah. A big problem. There's a man kando yako. Allow this man to say something. There's a gentleman right there.
Thank you, Linda, for the opportunity.
Okay.
My name is Brian Ouma Mkaga. I'm a student at Jomo Kenyatta University.
Right.
And also the chair and the president student empowerment team Kenya. Diving into the matter, I would say that the Wababa culture is not just a mere trend. It is a mirror reflecting the systematic fractures in our societies.
Okay.
Yes, there is moral decadence in our society. We find our parents that are supposed to mentor us are the one luring us into the relationships. Instead of mentoring us, nurturing us into the life we as youths would desire to be, they are taking us and using us. And number two, you have said about there is paternal absence or neglect. You find maybe a lady missed that paternal love.
Okay.
That's why he enters, or maybe he's lured into the relationship so that he can get that love, fatherly love that he missed. Yes.
All right.
The other thing is you find our system, the current economy, that 5% of our youths are unemployed. Yes.
All right. Okay. So that definitely they will look for money.
Exactly.
I want the mic to go back to the lady. Would you want to say something, or she doesn't want? You don't want to say anything? All right. You could go with, and then we come back to you. Utuambie soft life ni nini? Even as we try to get to address these concerns, because clearly, no matter how much soft life can be, the whole room sort of agrees that it's really not the way to go, and therefore we must address this and say, how do we get to that space where one can get to finance their own soft life, or even get a younger man, they grow together and finance that.
Hello, thank you for the chance.
Right.
My name is Lydia Hamisi. I'm a fashion stylist, a model, and a founder of the Masterpiece collection. Okay, for me, one thing our young men are lacking is knowledge. And most of them, they have ignorance.
Okay.
Because apart from the financial support from the Wababaz,
yes,
some ladies want to date the young men, but the young men, the older men, they have that knowledge.
Okay.
But most of the young men wako na hiyo kutoto. Because kuna some girls wanna support their young boyfriends.
Right.
But unapata maybe umesupport mtu, then the boyfriend unampata amecheat. So peer pressure, una peer pressure to the ladies. Na social media, maybe una admire someone, she has this, you don't have this, then you're like, you don't have work. Inakupush kutafuta
mtu mwingine. All right, the men are hearing this evening, but let's allow her to say something first, atuambie maneno ya soft life, and then we take it very fast in like 30 seconds so that we come to a close as we get to hear how do we get the solutions to this.
Okay, soft life is something like having your hair always done. Having the
even when
things
you're not
you
happy, even when you can't call this man at night because then they're with the kids and their wife, even when you can't enjoy the warmth of just being around them and them teaching you good stuff just because they're busy at work and all that? Is it just money?
We're just going to have a honest conversation.
Okay.
It's all about strategy. As a woman, if you know like, yeni una option, itabidi tu kwe na mbaba, you become strategic and you tell yourself, okay, first of all, let me take care of my health. How do you do that? For those who are practicing this, I will advise, get PEP and PrEP education.
Okay.
So if you have to have that mbaba, at the same time, as you've said, kuna hizo vitu zingine, I want a man I can flex with, I can walk around with, I can take pictures with. So meaning maybe there are 2 or there are 3 or there are 4. So first of all, take care of your health. Then number 2, for the men, please just stay away from the girls, work hard. Okay, I'm being realistic, honestly.
Yeah, it's the truth of the matter.
No, the information is out there. The girls have seen it. They've just seen like beauty is a currency. I can actually become a millionaire just because of being beautiful. So for the men, just work hard. Put the girls aside. Usieke roho hapo. When you become successful and you're able to protect, provide all those things, you can partake in having these women in your life now, seriously.
Okay.
I keep polling, but...
Well, it's a reality,
Yeah, so I feel like if it's something that is happening and we can't do anything about it, let's do strategic things, like taking care of our health and do it in a strategic way. Usipige bibia wenyewe, because most married men are the ones financing these girls. And we were having a discussion, we were saying, if married men put this wealth only for their wives and their kids, wasichana wa Nairobi wataparara. True or false? True or false?
Okay, I should have given you the conch earlier so that it would changamshia conversation. True or false? All right. Sawa, but here the gentleman wajitetea 30 seconds for just around 4 of us, and then we come to this side to close.
Personally, I think I don't agree with her in totality.
Do not partake until you're ready.
Because I think the major problem is with the system.
Okay.
For instance, right now we are students. By the time we get the jobs, we need like years of experience, which means the system is set in a manner that by the time you get that money, umekuwa mbaba. And you've been rejected all along, so you have no option but doing the same.
Okay.
So instead of doing that, why can't we correct the system? It has been said time and number that we are a creative generation, but don't we look at it that we are creative to an extent that we have introduced this thing?
Okay.
We've made this thing part, we are a microwave generation. We want to have things fast and going. Then why can't we correct the system and ensure that even the young person gets the money?
Okay.
Shakespeare says, manners maketh a man, but the current day we are living in times where money maketh a man. It is not true that the Mbaba is fatherly or he is well-mannered, because the same Baba, should he find the daughter doing the same, anashikwa na pressure.
Okay.
That is not fatherly, and that is not...
Fair enough. 30 seconds.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm Silas Wanjala. I'm a doctor, and thank you so much, Linda, for this. So I know he's a psychologist. You have heard something called Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And definitely, young girl, it's true. You're saying the truth, you're talking the truth, because first and foremost is your physiological needs, then you go to your safety, then you go to your love, then you go to self-esteem, and then self-actualization. Right. Definitely, you're right. I want to tell young man out there, young man, please work on yourself. You are aging like fine wine.
Okay.
Yes, and definitely their time will come that you'll be able to afford all these things. Don't compete, don't compare, and please don't. Just focus on yourself, work on yourself, build your skills, and one day, mambo zitajipa, vitu zitajipa, because these parents here, ukipata hata if you are man, ukienda kuuliza msichana, alafu atauliza msichana, by the way, anafanya nini? Unaona? What does he do?
What does he do?
Definitely.
That is true. All right. I'll have one lady and then one gentleman as we come to a close to this side. 30 seconds.
Okay, so mine is to emphasize that parents need...
Let's have the mic up, yeah.
Parents really need to put in the work, because society is the one that's building women to be objects. It's teaching us that we have to, even if you're smart enough, you will still be, your only value is if you're good in a particular area, specifically in sex. And how am I going to make sure that my goodness is valuable to me? So I'm making it a Mbaba issue, okay? So parents and the society needs to stop objectifying women. Secondly, I think we need to work on the values that we have as a society and as a country, and also work on making the institution of marriage look glamorous, because there are so many divorces, and the young girl is giving up hope on if marriages will work.
Okay, even the Mbabas tell these young girls, uko nyumbani ni kubaya, sijui nini. 30 seconds.
Sorry. Also, I'll emphasize on the aspect of who a mentor is. So apparently, for the last 22 years of my life, I've never figured out what feminism until the last 3 months that I got an opportunity to have a unit known as Gender and the Law, whereby I found myself trying to study what was the 1995 Beijing Declaration that gave birth to the gender mainstreaming. So I came to understand that for the longest history time, every time I open, I'm a big fan of the X app, formerly known as the Twitter.
Right.
I don't know if you guys found it as Twitter, as you found it as X. It's black in color nowadays. So apparently, I came to understand that gender mainstreaming was basically making, allow me to use you, Madam Olivia, basically you're a news anchor, and probably you're a mother and a wife. So it wants to better you all in all aspects of life, to become a better news anchor, to become a better wife and a better mother to your children.
Right.
So basically, all these mentors that have been putting us on the internet was like, women, if you have money, you don't need a man. The man was equated to a man. I have this. I don't know if it's something good, but I learned through experiences. For example, I went to Nya House a few years ago. I went to look for a passport. There's this lady, a middle-aged lady, who was pregnant. So when I opened the door, she entered. But as she was entering, she started murmuring with her friend. So when I came back, I was with my mom. So I opened for my mother, and the lady was a glass window. So nikaachilia, nikampiga kofi. Akaanza kucomplain tena. So according to my younger self, I was like, I tried to help you, but the mama that I had was like, what do you need? So I also was able to
sum it up,
yeah. I was also I also come to realize that sometimes we have mentors, as the psychologists say, but you have the wrong mentors. That's the reason why not every talk I can attend, and that's the reason why some of the men mentors that we label in our society, some of them don't make sense. Let's be realistic.
Well, unfortunately, 30 seconds. Strictly.
Okay, I just wanted to comment briefly on what the lady said about taking care of their bodies.
It has to be 30 seconds, yes.
There's something we have not even explored, but one thing I would tell these young people is the decisions you make today should be decisions that 10 years, 5 years later, you will say that I made a good decision and I'm proud of the decision that I made. No regrets.
Okay, thank you, Rev.
Mimi ningetaka kuambia, mnasema juu ya character development. Hiyo kwanza ningetaka mpigwe mara 10. By the time uoe, you now are stable even in the mind.
Okay.
Because I think our psychologists, you can tell, these days is not about love, it's infatuation. Infatuation is love. If I find you with another man, I should walk away, not kill you.
Okay.
Otherwise, attachment. Tumekuwa na hiyo si love.
All right.
Unatakana uwe hata unajua. Na nyumbani by the way, ni kama hatujawapenda.
Okay.
Do you know you should learn how to love from home?
Okay.
I want to go back to our parents, whereby I keep holding my son until he's 18 and I can't hold him anymore. By the time he meets a woman and he tells him, I love you, he already knows he has been loved by another woman.
Okay, Rev.
Kwa hivyo ikiwa ati hujawahi holdiwa na mwanamke, utajua this is now the one.
All right.
And you are wrong.
Asante sana. 30 seconds, gentlemen.
Okay. Yeah, 2 sentences. First is that our good books do not encourage dating. So if you are to think about it, get married.
Okay.
So alafu, the last one is that as a country, we are challenged that we should go back to the institution of family,
right,
and our religious and moral values.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. 30 seconds, Mike.
One philosopher said, I created you without you, I will not save you without you.
Okay.
The choice of a mentor, the choice of anything you do is your choice. Many people are outside there, but it's your choice.
All right.
But every life have a consequences.
Okay.
Be part of the story of formation of your life.
Thank you. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we can't exhaust this talk, but whatever it is that we have said is good enough to keep us going and reminding us of what is expected of us. Mike, the last speaker, professional mentor and a psychologist, as well as Imam Salim M. Charo of the National Muslim Leaders Forum. Thank you so much. Reverend Joyce Mungai, Pastor Jehovah Elohim Church, and last but not least, Grace Njeri, Teens and Youth Mentor, and everybody else on this other end. Asanteni sana. My name is Linda Alela, and you back at home, immense feedback that we could just not go through that, but we appreciate that you are part of the conversation. We'll see you again next Tuesday. Do have yourself a lovely night. Thank you.